not a lot of views on this first half of the show, but I had to do this. I had a story. It's a very serious story, very kind of sad, very sad story. But let's get right into it. A mother had to make the idea of her daughter's birth, try to make it as human as possible because the state of Georgia has been inhumane. Because of Roe v. Wade being overturned, that state has a life act that details that if the baby has a heartbeat, then it can still be within the mother's womb, even if she's brain dead. She had she had some serious issues with her headaches. She has very severe headaches, and it took her out. And she went to the hospital, and then she didn't recover, and she was declared brain dead. And she actually died, and the fetus within her body was 19 weeks on. It was only 19 weeks on. So that's as serious as this got. So she had she had no recourse. There was nothing she could do. She didn't have a choice. She didn't have a decision that could be made. Nothing could be done. It was all on the law. The law dictated that she have the daughter Adriana Smith have the baby. The mother's name is April Newkirk. Excuse me. The mother's name is April Newkirk, and she was on Nightline, I think it was. And I think I did this story or stories. I think I did this exact story a few months ago when it first hit. But she's not letting up. She's like going on tour almost in a way, letting everybody know about this story because it's very important. She just happens to be black. It just happens to be a FBA family, Foundational Black Americans, and this is not unusual at across the board anyway for any black mothers or mothers to be. This goes on more often than people may realize. But this is a story that has to be stated and maybe brought to a documentary, maybe brought to a dramatic rendering, a film, possibly. I'm not sure, but it has those pieces to it that would warrant it to be made into something larger. So I think that it's possible that we shed a light on this particular tale because it is worthy of it. It is vital, and I think it has a very strong message. One thing is, a woman's body, right? And the people that govern her body, the people that are staying over her body, if she's not able to speak for herself, they should have the choice. They should have I'm pro-choice, but I'm pro-life. I'm pro the woman's life, not the child's life necessarily in the womb. When the child is individuated from the mother, that's when it becomes a life. That's when it becomes a reality. Okay, so that's the difference. So the little baby, his name is Chance, because the grandmother April Newkirk thought he deserved a chance at life, given the circumstances. She didn't have a choice in the beginning from the jump. Let me see who's in here. Jackson Kuhn, I think I've seen you before. Hi. YVA.EVS.A. Sing Gnarly by Cat's Eye. Nick 48757. Hi. Okay. So there's that. But I hope you take in this story. Okay, who is this? Brooklyn. Honey, alert. Tyler is officially on. Repeat. Tyler is on. Oh my God. Something's wrong with Brooklyn. I don't know. He might be on that wet like Sir Rick James, but very serious topic I'm talking about right now. Probably not going to get that many views. Probably not going to get that many views on this, but that's okay. I wanted to talk about it. I wrote about it, and I thought it needed to be heard. Um, April Newkirk is, making the rounds, months after this occurred. I think this happened because she was a nurse. She was actually her daughter was a nurse at the Emory Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. And like I said, it should be pro-life and pro-choice. I'm pro-life and pro-choice. I'm pro the choice of the mother, but I'm also pro the life of the mother. And if she doesn't have a life, like if she's brain dead, then she doesn't have a life anymore. I'm sorry, you may be living, but you don't have a life, and that's very sad. And whoever is, the executor or executrix or what is it, the power of attorney in regard to her life, they should have they should have put that into the act, that even if the child had a heartbeat, that doesn't constitute a life. That just constitutes a growth on the woman. Doesn't really necessarily say that it's her, her child yet, and she wouldn't have no idea that it was her child because she was brain dead. So really, there, April said, Miss Newkirk said, she didn't have the choice. She didn't have the option. There was no way that she could say, well, we don't really want to have the child. We don't really want to go through with the pregnancy. You didn't have. There's no choice. There was no option. Because of the disavowal of Roe v. Wade, it was set in stone in the act in Georgia that she should not be able to have. She have to carry this child until it was born, until it was able to be born, at least within a few moments of it being able to sustain it on monitors and different things like that. It was born with only a pound and 3 ounces. Pound and 3 ounces. That's nothing. That's like such a that's like the preemie's preemie. Okay, so that child, is still from at least the last report, is still in the hospital on all kinds of machines and ventilators and different apparatuses. But that is the reality of this situation right now, and it's extremely sad. I mean, it's so sad. It's so distressing. But I had to report on it. I thought it was due. It coincided with my views on abortion and why abortion is a woman's right because of her life, because of whatever living situation she may be in. That's the reality of it. That's the truth behind it. That's what carries on this whole idea of abortion, is to protect the mother. It's to protect the mother because it's a growth. It's not a baby yet. It's not an individuated person. It's a growth on her body. And she should have whatever say she has to do with her own body and her own mind. Because that's really what it is. It's the choice. Pro-choice is pro-life, pro-mind. That's the reality. So you have to be pro-life and pro-choice at the same time. People like to draw the line to saying, oh, well, I'm pro-life, or I'm pro-choice. No, I'm pro-choice and pro-life at the same time. Abortion is a very serious situation, not something to be taken lightly. Not just like, oh, well, you want to have this baby? Haha, it's good. It's nothing like that. It's a very serious situation, very serious topic, something that should be considered. Something that should be, brought up with a sense of gravity, a sense of gravitas. It should be brought up with a sense of truth and the telling of the tale. The telling of the tale really is about saying that she had no options. April Newkirk, the grandmother of the baby, Chance, and the mother who was brain dead, Adriana Smith, who was a nurse At I think at the exact hospital. I could be wrong. I didn't look that much into it on that level, but I know she was a nurse in Emory. Um, but it's just a terrible, heart wrenching, mind wrenching, really mind wrenching situation. Um, and it just is terrible. It's just very sad, very strong. So like I see nobody really is in the live chat really talking about it, and that's okay. I'm fine with it. I have 0 viewers right now. That's all right. I'm okay. Then I have 2 viewers. It goes up and down. It fluctuates. But I just think it's possible for her, for April Newkirk to tell this story over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just keep telling it over and over again until it seeps into the minds of those who have the powers of the state. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, states' rights, states' rights." No, states don't have rights. Individuals have rights. States have powers. They have the power to do such. That's what they wield. They have powers. Bumba, I'm talking about something serious. I'm talking about talking about abortion laws. I'm talking about this mother and her daughter who was brain dead, who had to stay on the machines long enough to have the baby be born. His name is Chance. He was born at 1 pound and 3 ounces. Very small, very premature, extremely premature birth. And then they just kind of discarded not April Newkirk, but the medical staff kind of just discarded her and just said, oh, he's individuated from her, not a growth anymore, but able to go on with his life. He's now individuated. He's an individual himself, not completely capable of doing for himself, but able to do, able to be alive, able to live. Yes, we are pro-abortion here. Yes, salute, salute. I'm pro-abortion. It's about pro-life and pro-choice. It's the both. You have to have both. You have to have the pro-choice, the choice to say no, I don't want to have a baby. I'm going to go through the procedure to not have a baby. And the pro-life, you have your own life is what the woman's life is at stake. So you can be pro-life and pro-choice at the same time. Like I said, people want to make the distinction between pro-life and pro-choice, but there is really no distinction. They're both meshed together. They're both together. Yeah, forget what Charlie Kirk says. I'm not going to say rock and power to him. But, I'm just going to say, he's dead. He's dead now. I completely disagree with about 99% of the things he said, and abortion is one of them. The same thing with J.D. Vance. Same thing with Nick Fuentes. Same thing with Donald Trump. And all these different, not just Republicans. There's some Democrats that are against abortion. Charlie Kirk looks zesty no longer. Well, he's not. He's no longer here, so we can't really talk about him too much. He's not. He got knocked out of the human race with an assassin's bullet. But it's not about Charlie Kirk. It's all about April Newkirk. Really, April Newkirk is the one on the line. She's standing up for her daughter and her grandson. Her daughter's fate was already sealed. She couldn't do anything for her. She was brain dead. She's out of here. She's no longer living. But Chance still lives on. His name is reflective of the fact that he has a chance to live. I don't know who Benny Johnson is. Explain who Benny Johnson is. I don't know who Benny Johnson is. But yeah, so April April Newkirk is a staunch supporter of abortion rights for the woman, for her life, for, even if she didn't have a life. That's the sad part too. That's what's so, engrossing and very, powerful about this story, is the fact that um her, the daughter, she was brain dead. She had no capacity for living. She did not live. Benny Johnson is a right-wing influencer close with Trump. I didn't know that. I didn't even know. See, my audience is smarter than myself. I didn't know who a Benny Johnson is. Now I gotta look him up. Benny Johnson. Jesus Christ. Oh, he's a YouTuber too? How many followers does he have? How many subscribers does he have? 6.1 million subscribers. 4.3 billion views. Yeah, boy. He worked for Turning Point USA and hosted it for Newsmax TV. He did some time with The Blaze with Glenn Beck. He was fired for plagiarism. He'd be stealing the words. Okay. He'd be stealing the words. Yeah, this seems like a piece of, excrement to me. Thank you for that. Bumba. Thank you for that, Bumba. Appreciate it. I never knew who that was. Oh, god damn it. Gotta watch that. But I never knew who that was. I never heard of his name before, but he's got way more views than me, more views than I, way more subscribers than I. That's the beauty of it, though. It reminds me of Howard Rourke. Everybody else is successful. Oh my God, you should see Keating. You should see his buildings. Oh, they're just so wonderful. And everybody else, they're just doing wonderfully. What are you doing? You're doing gas stations, and you got two nickels to rub in your pocket. You're going to a quarry. What is this? Am I giving too much away? I'm giving too much away. Let me stop. Yo, you should watch that Woody documentary also. It's called A Woody's Dirty Deed. Is on YouTube. It's pretty dope. Woody's Dirty Deed. Oh my God. Woody's Dirty. Oh, from yesterday. Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it. I don't know what the hell you were talking about, because I'm trying to stay focused on this particular story. But thank you for that anyway. For telling me about the documentary. All right, but we gotta stay on topic. We gotta stay on topic with Adriana, April, Chance. Okay, so those are the key figures, the people that came to this world, and one is not in this world anymore. But it's really about April Newkirk, because she's the one talking. She's sat down with Nightline. They talked about this case. It's very convoluted. It just seems weird to me, because she's brain dead, but she's alive, but the baby's still in her, but they have to get it out. But it's only been 19 weeks. But it's just so many different facets to the story. I'm trying to convey it to you. Just to get, acquainted with it. Now I have 0 viewers again. That's fine though. I have to tell the story. It's not always about the viewers. I appreciate my viewers. I get viewers. I'll get $50. I get $50, $77 for my Cash App. Cash App goes crazy, But I appreciate any and all donations. But we had to stick on this topic. We had to stay on this topic. Abortion, in the grand scheme of things, of course, should be legalized. I still am baffled at the fact that the government has any say whatsoever over somebody's humanity, over their individual rights. They should be protecting individual rights, not stamping and trampling all over them. That's a fact. So, April Newkirk is a hero. She's a heroine. She's definitely a heroine for her daughter, for her grandson. She's selfish. She's rational. She's a good person for that specific reason. And don't let anybody say anything else. Well, she's very selfless. She's so selfless. She's so unselfish. Oh my God. No, she's not unselfish or selfless. She's selfish. She's self-interested. She's rational. She's thoughtful. She's using her mind to get out the word about her daughter and her daughter's ordeal and her grandson Chance, who has the opportunity to live. He has the opportunity to live a life. But at the cost, he may have defects in his brain. He may have defects in his lungs. He may have defects in his limbs. All these different complications have arisen because of the fact that he was born so prematurely. So it's going to be very difficult for him to experience life in certain aspects. He has a higher risk for cerebral palsy. He has a higher risk for autism. He has a higher risk for all these different maladies and malformations because of the fact that he was born so early. So that's just a reality. That's the reality. So definitely got to look into this. Go into this, with a clear-eyed view. So she was on life support for months. Months. They couldn't take her off life support, give her a decent funeral, whatever the case may have been, something like that. But she was on child support for months just to have the baby. Baby boy born to brain dead Georgia mother remains. Hold on. Hospitalized nearly 6 months later, family says. The little boy's getting treatment. He's getting a lot of nutrients and nourishment, but there's no telling what the complications could arise because of his situation. Very serious situation. Very serious news. So I just wanted to, allow you to realize that truth. It's very, very sobering. It's a very sobering story. Not a lot of uplift, into it, but there is always that little piece of hope, rational hope, that little piece of knowledge, I guess is the better word. That knowledge of saying how, he may be in, a dire situation, but he could possibly pull through and, do extraordinary things in his life. And he'd have a hell of a story to tell, after, his birth, when he grows up to be a full-fledged adult one day. That's, 20, 30 years from now. Was that that's the 2040s and 50s? Just imagine that time period. Just imagine that. That's going to be extraordinary. So I would definitely say, look at that, look at his abilities, that, or his inabilities that could arise, and just remember April Newkirk. April Newkirk is she's a giant. She's a superwoman. She is awesome. I have to give her the full credit. This is in a trying time. She pulled through, and in a very serious and somber situation. She was able to say, I know my daughter can't do anything, and I know I can't do anything about this life act, for pro anti-abortion state. Um, it's completely out of my hands. I have nothing to do. I still am confused at how the government can do that. Of all the things, it does. The FCC, the FDA, the DEA, and all this other ugly, organizations and associations. It can say and have the right over somebody's life and living stature and their station. That is completely abhorrent. That is ugly and disturbing and awful. And should be recalled. It should be remembered. Should have it should have a definite turnover of the turned over Roe v. Wade situation. And I don't get that. I need to do more research, but I still don't understand how Roe v. Wade even became a thing. Like, why is Roe v. Wade even? How did that even start? Like, I know that was like what in the back in the 70s or something like that. And but it was Roe v. Wade. But how did that even become a thing? Because and how that's what the late great, I said late great George Carlin said. Yeah, your precious effing rights. Yeah, right. Your rights. Really not rights. They're privileges. They're temporary. Because you had a right up until, what was it, 2021? 2022, something like that, Roe v. Wade. When they stopped that was a horrible, horrific, and ugly display of power. Just to say that you have your hand over a woman's decision making process for her own life. That's just despicable. That's disgusting. She should have every right to say what she wants to do with her mind, and that's it. Just her mind, because that's what it is. It's all in your head. That's if you go by the cliche. It's all in your head. It's all about your mind. It's all about your thoughts. Your choice is your life, is your mind. Pro-choice is pro-life, is pro-mind. They're all together. They're all synchronized into one specific goal. That's the power of all this idealism. I don't know who's going to change it. Somebody's going to change it back. But I think it's just weird. I mean, I don't know the whole history, but there was like abortions happen all the time. They were dangerous. They were often, very not illegitimate means, and very, under the back, in the back room, under the table, just. And then Roe v. Wade came in and made it possible for women to be, in a hospital setting amongst professionals, amongst the doctors, the producers. We had to say that producers of medical care, because that's another issue. The medical care. Who's, oh, I got the ACA, I got the Affordable Care Act, I got Obamacare, I got SSI, I got Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare. Woohoo! But the doctors, the producers, the people that make these things and create it, what do? So I just want to leave on the note of April Newkirk being a super heroine, and to follow this story, look it up. I'm gonna try to just use the title in this story, and it should come up. on any search engine. Okay, I gotta breathe. Okay, I did breathe. I gotta breathe. I gotta take a little drink. Hold on. All right. So now we get to talk about light stuff. Now this is getting lighter. Dave Chappelle detailed about what he would do if Diddy, free Diddy, if Diddy, if he actually bombed or Molotov cocktailed his Porsche. It's Porsche, by the way. It's not Porsche. His Porsche. Because that's allegedly what Diddy did. And then he went into his house and opened his Christmas gifts. He was like, nigga, I love Christmas. If that nigga came into my house, it'd be a different story, you know? And then if he came in and undid his Christmas gifts and put a Molotov cocktail on his Porsche, he would have a totally different story. He'd be like, and if people came up to him and said, oh my God, did you hear what happened to Diddy? He'd be like, no, what happened? Like, he would have a whole kind of, it'd be a different kind of misunderstanding. Because he was like, maybe Kid Cudi wasn't built for that, to try to, go do some gangster stuff behind his back and underhanded, like, try to see if he could do something. But then he was like, I'm built for that. He was like, I'm built for that. So I would do something even more. So, but this was crazy. This was during an arena show. He does arenas now. Like, he has been doing arenas for the past, few probably years, like decades maybe. But he's been doing arenas, and somehow, some way, somebody slipped in a camera their phone. Cause you have to have him under lock and key before you go into the arena. You have to put him in, you put him into a different section, and then they have to be, categorized as, a phone or a tablet or whatever the case may be, so they don't take up the show. Long story short, somebody brought it in anyway, so it's crazy. That is like the key thing to all this. That is like what is so serious. That is what's so serious. That is what's so truthful. And, I mean, this is a lighter story. I mean, I did a very serious, heavy, half of the show. This half is very light, very, not so deep. Just a news item that I picked up on the hip hop zines on the internet. Dave Chappelle, saying, that he would he would essentially have a whole different viewpoint on the Diddy situation. He parodied Diddy in a sketch on the Chappelle Show about over 20 years ago. So that's just the reality of that. That's the truth. I just think that Diddy had. I mean, he has that issue. Parody. Parody, yeah. Parody of Diddy, yeah. But yeah, make sure you tell other people, because they're gonna look at this title and be like, I don't know, I can't. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. But if you so choose, I wanted this one to be out front because this is a very funny story. This is a very light story. This is a ha ha he he story. But I wanted to do the first story to be very serious and somber and have gravitas associated with it. Yeah, so Diddy is, supposedly this gangster, this super gangster, the super predator, allegedly, is it allegedly? He's been convicted, so, he's not really an alleged predator. He's pretty much that, what's it is. Breast milk, you made my day. What was it? It was Cambodian breast milks. Cambodian breast milks, only the finest. And he was on the back of the security guard with his hair up, with his locks up in the air, and he was just like, "Yo, with the toothpick and the glasses low, I need y'all to go to Cheesecake to get me some. I need y'all to go to Junior's to get me some cheesecake." Yeah, he only drinks the finest Cambodian breast milks. He probably gets them in prison. That's in his commissary. He's got Cambodian breast milks. Oh man. Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny sketch. And then they had Dylan. Top 5 MCs. Dylan. Classic parodies. Classic. But he had this new one nobody knows about. It's ahead of his Netflix special that's probably going to come out either next year or within the next few months. But he may be pissed off. I don't know. I'm just doing it because I saw it on a website. I'm not even going to say the website. But I saw it on a website. I was like, oh, okay. And it had pretty good quality for what it was. He had to keep it low, of course. He couldn't, be broadcasting it like, let me get the best angle from this, But he had the best idea for it. But yeah. So that was crazy. That was crazy. He said that, I'm just imagining what Kid Cudi would have done. He was on the stand. They said he was dry snitching. Well, he wasn't snitching at all. He was just telling the truth. He was just telling the reality of what happened to his car. I don't think that was breast milks. Oh, see, I'm looking at it. I don't think that was snitching. I'm looking at what it is on the screen. Excuse me. That was a slip. I got breast milks on my mind. That was a slip. But yeah, so okay, who's this? Bumba's back. Diddy doing a makeover, making the band in prison, but playing the inmates and never signing any of them. Yeah, exactly. They have a talent show, I'm sure. See, that's the thing with prison. Prison is not prison all the time. There's separate times where prison is recreation. They got, actors that come in, singers that come in. They got rehabilitation specialists. They have all kinds of different ways that make prison seem not like prison until it is like prison. Like I remember Cat Williams once said, if you want to know what it's like to be in jail, not prison. I don't think he was in prison, but it's a similar situation. Go into your closet, turn off the light, and just stand there. That's probably the truth. Just doing it for protection. Yeah, true. Just doing it for protection, trying to get, Big Diddy off of Little Diddy, you know what I'm saying? for his protection and for the inmate's protection, because if he gets a hold of some baby oil, it's a different situation. It's a totally different situation. So you have to protect the other inmates from Diddy too. So but that's just the reality of it. But yeah, so Diddy's definitely on, some next level stuff. He's on some, some like just thinking about what the possibilities are for him. Like that Porsche. That Porsche could have been, anybody's, but it was Kid Cudi's, and he could have been in it. He could have been in it. He could have been a whole thing. He wasn't in it at the time, but he opened up his Christmas gifts. This is the Christmas season. Could you imagine somebody opening your Christmas gifts? How disrespectful do you have to be to open up somebody else's Christmas gifts? Walk into their home, not just break and enter, not just walk into somebody's home, but open up their Christmas gifts. Like, that is some next level disrespect. That is like off the charts disrespectful. That is horrific, man. That is sad. the mindset of somebody, is to be in that way. Allegedly, all this is alleged. By the way, this is all alleged that Diddy did this. It's not been confirmed. It was part of the court documents. It was part of the court proceedings, but it was not. It's never been confirmed. He was never charged or convicted with what was it? That's like what was that not Grand Theft Auto, but just destruction of property, breaking and entering, just going through other people's personal items. I don't know what I don't know what the exact charge would be. Other than that, yeah, I guess that's like theft in a way. If you're going through people's Christmas gifts, you're going through somebody's Christmas gifts for crying out loud. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Going through somebody's Christmas gifts. That's cold-hearted. That's detrimental to somebody's psyche. If you had your Christmas gifts, mangled or all torn up and everything, that's awful. So that's the reality of that. That's the truth. But we have a little bit of layers to this story. Like I said, we had the layer of the person that snuck in the cell phone, the video phone, and videoed a good minute. It was like a whole minute of his stand up, and that's a violation to me. That was a violation. That was a violation of his rights. He didn't want people to film him. It's available on the internet right now, though. If you want to see it, you can see it on probably on YouTube by now. Let me see if it's on YouTube. Dave Chappelle. Okay, it's not on there yet. It's not on there yet. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it is. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on mute. Hold on, let me listen to it real quick. Okay, I'm back. What is this? This is trending news from the non-brother with the blues. Wiz, salute Wiz. Diddy said he almost got killed in his cell. I would like to know that with that regards. I miss what he says at the end. He says something at the end, but it's not good quality, obviously, because it's coming from a cell phone that you're not supposed to have in the arena. But this was in Seattle, and I'll give away, because they're promoting it, They're promoting it. All Hip Hop TV on YouTube or allhiphop.com. They're promoting it. I don't think Dave Chappelle, I don't know if he knows or if he cares. He's probably not, mad at All Hip Hop, but he's mad at more so whoever the individual was that leaked the video online. That's what I would imagine. Bummer said Diddy said he almost got killed in his cell. I don't even know about that. I don't remember hearing those reports, but I don't deny you, sir. I'm not denying you, Bumbo. I just didn't hear it. I heard he got into some. He was making his fellow inmates fold his sheets and fold his clothes for him, and now it's his job too. His job on the in the jail was to do the laundry. It reminds me of that scene from American History X. If anybody remembers that movie, classic piece of celluloid, great film. Guy Torrey and what's his goddamn name? Oh my god, I forgot his name that fast. Oh man. What is his name? Edward Norton. Edward Norton. One of my favorite actors. I can't think of his name. Edward Norton. They're in there talking about the different basketball players and stuff like that. Rest in peace to Puffy. Not yet, Wiz. Slow it down. Slow it down. I'll be missing you, Diddy. I think when they start, it's going to pass by really fast. 4 years and a few months and time served, and maybe even if he gets pardoned or something like that, his time in prison is going to be pretty short stint, or it's not going to seem like he's going to be in prison that long. They're going to be like, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, tell the world I'm coming home. Oh my God. That's funny though. But it's very serious when you get to the point of throwing Molotov cocktails at people's Porsches. That's pretty serious. That's beyond jealousy. That's when you're going on to you're going into a different realm. You're going on to a different realm of infamy. That's a different kind of station. So I would say, for Dave Chappelle, like Wu-Tang Clan, protect your neck. Cause he said this. Classic line from Dave Chappelle said, "It's not funny. Everything's funny until it happens to you." He was talking about how Chris Rock got the fire smacked out of him by Will Smith. And he was just like, that's my guy, but it's wild. It's not, Then a few weeks later, there was a guy that got on stage and tried to pummel him, and he stepped back and his security guards tackled the guy. So it's always funny until it happens to you. So who knows what could happen? He said I got a Porsche. He said Porsche, but it's not. It's really Porsche. He said, I got one of those, you know. I'll be mad as F if somebody did that to me. He said, the MFer. He said, see, he ripped open his Christmas gifts. His Christmas gifts, y'all. It's Christmas time right now. You know what that's like? To have your Christmas gifts just destroyed, and you don't know what the present is already, and the other person knows what their present is, their gifts. How dare you? How dare you? That's some serious stuff right there. That's very serious. Like I said, that goes beyond jealousy. That goes into infamy. Cuddy shouldn't have released that trash double album. Are you talking about the one he just dropped this year? Is that what you're talking about, or the one I don't follow Kid Cudi's career like that. I don't know why. I like his songs. I love Day and Night. That's the only one I can really point to. And Man on the Moons is the album, and Pursuit of Happiness is my favorite song of his. And it was a really awesome cover by a chick named, oh my god, what's her name? Oh my god. Cover. Lizzie. I'm forgetting names all over the place. One for the internet, I swear. Nah, that one with the Beavis and Butthead interlude. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's not new, or is that the new one? What year did that come out? I'm calling you Baja. Bumba. What year did that come out? Oh, 2017. Wow, that's a long time ago. Damn. Kid Cudi got praised for mental illness when people made fun of Wale uh, for suffering from mental illness. What kind of mental illness did Wale have? Do you know what his exact diagnosis is? And Kid Cudi as well. I don't know what their diagnoses were. Diagnoses were. It had a few good songs. It was like a rock album, but it had some real trash, though. He's a pretty bad singer. Wow. That's pretty extraordinary. Yeah, Cudi. Yeah, what about Cudi, Wiz? I know he's. Are you saying he's a bad singer? I got you. I got you. Cudi responsible for a lot of Kanye hits, I believe. Yeah, yeah. For 808s and Heartbreak, definitely. He was on, and I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as well. I think he was on Dark Fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. He was on Hey 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 Hey. Don't say you will. I need the auto tune. I can't. My voice. Hey 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 hey. I could be wrong, and I think he might be on the Rihanna song. I can't remember the one where she's in the Rihanna video. Um, Rihanna. I'm saying her name wrong. Rihanna. Yeah, he had a lot of Ye and Cudi had some heat. Ye and Cudi had some heat back in the day. All the lights, yes, exactly. Get mine, baby. Gotta let these niggas know. Yeah. That was a hot bar. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs of Ye anyway. One of my favorite songs of all time anyway. That was a good point. All the lights. Yeah. Cudi was definitely on that one. Cudi definitely had that one. But yeah, Dave Chappelle, man, he just laid it out. He was like, man, if they mess with my Christmas gifts, man, it's gonna be some misunderstanding. It's gonna be some furniture moving. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be some issues. It's gonna be some kind of misunderstanding. It's gonna be a problem. Gonna be some furniture moving around. Something. So Dave Chappelle, allhiphop.com. Go to allhiphop.tv or allhiphop TV on YouTube to watch the video. They're broadcasting it. They must know something I don't know. Some copyright stuff. They don't want to get. They're good people. They're from Delaware. Chuck Creekmur and Grouchy Greg. They're good people. I met Grouchy Greg. I don't know about Chuck Creekmur. He seems like a good guy too, though. What's KSG? What's KSG? Bumble Clock. Oh, Kitsy Ghost. Thank you. Good point. That's another one of my favorite songs. Kitsy Ghost. Yeah, on the Yay album. The Yay album. That was a classic. Yeah, Cuddy and Ye had heat. They had heat. Definitely had heat. The whole album EP, yeah. Speed Bizzle 617. Yo, Mr. Saunders, you know I donate when I can. Can you please Venmo me a 20 spot and I'll give you 30 back Monday. That was cute. Nope. All money in, no money out. All money in, no money out. That's what I learned about from Nipsey Hussle. It's all money in, no money out. I don't push out money unless it's like Dr. Jerome Brook or Mr. Choice Star Terrain, something like that. Everybody else, nope, not happening. Everybody's more money in. But Cuddy has some pretty mediocre stuff too. Okay, I understand that. I can understand that. That's why I haven't followed his career like that. It's hit or miss with him. He has big hits, but he also has some big misses too. No panhandling allowed. Appreciate it, Wiz. See, I don't even have to handle business. I have people that handle business already for me. They're real stand-up men like Wiz. He's a stand-up guy. He's a real guy. So I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. I was gonna let him speak. I was gonna let him say, oh come on, man, it's only $20 and that's some hustle. He'd be like, nah, man, I got you, yo. I know I couldn't get it on Monday, but I got you. Like I just would give him $20, and then he would not have given me $30. So he tried to give me $10. That's what he was trying to do. Trying to give me a $10 donation when he could just give me a $10 donation. Because he said, you give me $20 now, I'll give you $30 by Monday. So in reality, I'll give him $20 now. He doesn't give me $20 at all, ever. At no money ever. I don't even remember seeing his name. Maybe they changed it, but anyway. He would have been like, oh yeah, nah, I mean my nigga, nah, I can't. I couldn't do it this Monday. I'll give it to you on Thursday. You know what I mean? I got you. That's when I get paid. You know what? I couldn't do it Thursday. I'll give it to you before Christmas. You know what? It's New Year's, man. I know. You know what? It's crazy. It's like, it's you know what I'm saying? It's Easter. He would have been the same sad story over and over and over and over and over again. So thank you, Wiz. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for correcting this person. Not even going to mention his name. But anyway, to wrap things up, Dave Chappelle has a video out. It's not official, but it's on allhiphop.tv, allhiphop.com and allhiphop TV. If you wish to look at it, if you wish to watch it. It's not like he's like bringing down the house, because they're just like doing nervous laughter because they're like, it's kind of weird, subject matter to talk about. But he does it nonetheless because he's a professional like that. He's been doing this for almost 40 years or maybe over 40 years. It could be now. Yeah, I think it's definitely over 40 years. So, hey, thank you very much. Thank you for sticking with me for the serious situation at the top of the hour, and for sticking with me for a very light situation, kind of light, kind of serious at the same time with the Dave Chappelle story. And I will see you sometime tomorrow or the day after. Take care.